We have breaking news. Let's get right to it.
Past 24 hours, we've seen 34 new cases of COVID-19 here in Utah.
Following breaking news out of Utah, a magnitude 5.7 earthquake hitting just after 7 a.m. local time, about 10 miles west of Salt Lake City.
You need 100 to 150,000 tests a day.
What's going on, y'all? It's your man, Dread, the #1 Drerawka, and welcome to Isolation20 Podcast, or Iso20 if you want to keep it short, direct, and to the point, kind of built like me. Thank you for clicking play on whatever audio device you're listening to. If you are a frequent flyer of this podcast, I appreciate all your support and loyalty. If you are somebody that just stumbled upon this podcast and maybe you don't even know why you're here, thank you for being here. Take a seat, listen, and join us on this audio journey. You might like the content, and if you do, consider subscribing, writing a review, and all that stuff. We appreciate all the support that we can get and that we get. Today I have a special guest. I had the chance to sit down with my man DB of the DB and Big Buddha podcast of Rock 106.7, and this guy's a great father, a great husband, just an overall good dude, and I feel like you get to hear that and see that in this conversation. So I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna let you guys listen to it. Be sure to drop a comment, like, and all that good stuff. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please subscribe. We really appreciate all the love that we've been getting on that. All right. Again, I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna let you guys listen to this. I hope you have a good day.
Cool. So what is this? Is this the Flight 89 podcast? Is this the DJ Bad Hair Day podcast? What is this?
This is ISO20. This is Isolation20 Podcast. This was another way for me to kind of create without having to figure a whole bunch of shit out, to be honest with you. Flight 89 was my second podcast that I've ever done, and that was with my homies, right? So KJ and Prince. And we took a hiatus. Don't know if it'll ever come back, but we'll see what happens. I kept the platform there.
The band broke up.
The band broke up. No, we're still homies. I talk to them every day. It's just, life happens. When I had my back surgery, we took a pretty long hiatus. It was like 4 months. And so this was kind of life happened to some of us, and it was kind of a chance for us to work on other endeavors that we wanted to work on. So KJ, he's working more on his film stuff. He's working on like a short film and things like that. And Prince is working on being a baby daddy, and and so for me, I was like, I love podcasting. Like I've always loved this form of art. And so I was like, man, we're quarantined right now, right? So I don't even want to go to the studio and things like that. So I brought the interface over to the crib and just created this platform that we're episode 8 right now, and people are people are being receptive to it. So to answer long answer to your question is, this is Isolation20 Podcast.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. It's always rough when the band breaks up, and so I've seen you. I've followed you guys, the Flight 89 dudes, and it's hard to coordinate 3 people getting together, and then there's always going to be one person who feels like they're doing most of the fucking work, and maybe one guy or 2 other guys, or so, I don't know. It's hard, dude. That's why bands break up all the time.
Yeah, right. And then they get the new lead singer, and they keep the same. That's the thing, is that I could have definitely kept like Flight 89. It was my birth child, like it's my baby, and everything like that. But I was like, no, I think that's kind of corny to be like. It's kind of like the Fresh Prince, right? The Fresh Prince they just cut off the mom, right? They had the mom, and then they just cut her off mid-season, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, this is a brand new character. But yeah, so I didn't want to do that, but yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Well, dude, you gotta grow. You gotta grow. If you're not growing, you're stagnant, and change is good.
Yeah. But I guess I should tell the people who's on the other side of this. I got my man DB from a lot of different shit, but I want to highlight the DB and Big Buddha podcast because I am a huge fan. I listen every Monday, and you guys get me through this damn quarantine. So salute to you, man, and thank you for joining. I know we've been trying to make this happen for a while now, and what better time than during a quarantine?
Totally, dude. Well, I think I think podcasting is, dude. First and foremost, I think podcasting is fun. And I say this, I've worked in radio for a while, but I say this to anybody, any fucking person who thinks they've got an idea for a podcast. I say do it.
Yes.
Do it. The very worst thing that can happen is that you're going to learn more about computers, learn more about tech, and which tech and computers are the same thing. But and you're going to have fun. So
Yeah.
I love podcasting.
Yeah. So how did you even get into podcasting? Because you've been in radio, 20 plus years?
Yeah, it's coming up on 24 here this summer. So when I worked on ZHT, it was the first time I ever had exposure to podcasting at all. And that was, we would just take the MP3 files from each day and start joining those and putting those up.
Around what year is this?
Every day. Oh, that's got to be fucking, I don't know, easy early. I don't want to be like, I was podcasted before anybody, but I think, and it wasn't like podcasting like this. It was literally just taking the on-air content from the radio program and putting that every day in an accessible online form. And I want to say probably around 2010 or 11 or but and don't quote me on that, but pretty early. And so, but that was no effort podcasting. Like, I was doing zero editing. It was all just mixing MP3s and then uploading files. It was super, super raw. So that was my first experience with it. And actually, yeah, I'll say this, and I don't care who's listening. I've been saying since the very beginning of almost that to everyone I've worked with, that we should do like an off-air, more almost not R-rated, but internet isn't regulated, that just a more candid version of the on-air thing. So I've been an advocate of this for a long time. I didn't ever get the balls to do it till just recently with Buddha, but it's so fun, dude. It's so fun.
You say get the balls to do that, and I think that you get a better understanding of an individual. Like you and Buddha are public figures, and I feel like you guys carry a lot of weight in the city and in the state. Like, people know DB, people know Buddha, and to see you guys be yourself, or I should say, hear you guys be yourself on a platform that you created, it's phenomenal. You have to have big balls to do that.
Well, dude, you know what? I'd be lying if I said that, because we record together, but Buddha's way busier than me. So I do the editing and, post the podcast from, just here at my place. And, dude, I know that we all talk about podcasting. Like, everybody wants to get a podcast so I can fucking keep it real. But, Buddha and I keep it pretty real, but there's still shit that I go back and I cut out, man. Cause I'm just like, now the world isn't ready for this.
Yeah.
Or, there are still things, I believe in this medium being like, however cool you want to make it sound, raw, but there are still things, I don't care where you are, there are still things that should be said, and maybe there are things that shouldn't be said. And, I make that choice as we're editing and getting ready to post each week. So it is a pretty honest representation, but I think every person has maybe a little bit darker or maybe a little bit uncooler side that people don't really, I believe, say everything they think.
Fuck
on
no.
podcasts.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Oh, dude, no, I'd get run out of this town.
I mean, I thought you were going to when you brought up Casey, but we'll leave that alone.
Oh, dude, but you know what, dude? I'm happy to talk about Casey Scott and his dude. You know what? I'm friends with that guy, and I really like that guy. And my whole thing has always been about him that that Shauna got a pass, and I thought that was bullshit.
It was.
I thought that was bullshit.
Yo, but what better perfect time for her to get the second DUI than during a quarantine?
Dude.
Nobody talked about this shit. Like, it's gone.
Yeah. Well, and I can't name names here, but I know quite a few TV people in the city, and I don't know. From what I've heard, I don't know if she's coming back. And to be honest, I really don't. I don't think she should come back. I mean, my man got 2 and he got clipped. Yep. So she's had her 2, and Casey and maybe Shauna, they're a good. That's a good thing for those of us that work in media. You should look at Casey or look at some of these people that are in broadcasting, and then they're not in broadcasting. And people miss it, dude. Like, people are devastated when they lose their radio careers. People are destroyed when they are no longer able to be on TV.
Why do you think that is? Do you think it's the status, or do you think it's just like financial? What do you think it is that makes people feel like they cannot like go on?
Well,
or they take
I'm sure
it so
Shauna.
hard.
I'm sure someone like Shauna was making good money. But dude, this is an incredible stroke to your ego. Being on the radio every day is it's wonderful. It's if people like it. If people don't like it, that sucks.
Yeah.
But it's a wonderful feeling. And I'll tell you what, I've never worked with anyone in broadcasting who I think isn't a person that deals with serious insecurity. I think all of us that are in broadcasting are people that maybe, we weren't the cool kids, or at least never felt that way. And, we're looking for validation from other people, and I think there's maybe not for everyone, because I know some really confident, strong, cool broadcasters like my man here in town, Tim Hughes, and the guy that I work with at iHeartMedia, Rod Arquette. But I think everybody who's in broadcasting has an insecure, I want to be loved, accepted side to them.
Is there a sense of fear? Like, just knowing the guys that I know in radio, I feel like at any moment you can, get terminated, whether if it's budget cuts or you're just not fulfilling the duty too well, or whatever it is. I feel like there's a sense of like anxiety of not knowing if you're going to have a job, next quarter.
Absolutely. Totally. But I think that anybody can have that feeling, Anybody can lose their job at any time in radio. So as long as I've been in it, we get what's called employment contracts, and that can be for, X amount of years, or, it's usually a year or a few years. And, a lot of people that I work with in radio, feel that, that's more about the company, covering themselves rather than, taking care of you or giving you job security, because, if you fuck up, they can get rid of you. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't think there's really job security many places, but you definitely live in constant fear of, telling you to hit the bricks.
Yeah.
When I was first, so think about this. So 96, 97, I'm graduating Taylorsville High School. And before my senior year is out, I'm already working at Hot 94.9 with Salt Lake City legend Dr. Doug and, Stevie Wonder and, Kayvon Moti, who now is the man over at Broadway.
Yeah.
He was working at Q99, so I was in that building. And, back in those days, man, if you turned, so you're at your house or you're in your car, you turn the radio on and there is someone there in the building at the radio station 24 hours a day, 8 days a week, 366 days a year. There was someone always there. Excuse me. Like my first gig, the first job I ever had in a radio studio was playing Rick D's in the weekly top 40, which was just me sitting in a room with 4 CDs, and I would literally push one button an hour for 4 hours. And that was it. So back in the day, man, there were people always at the radio station. But there's a lot less nowadays, I mean, you really got to put out, to be, gosh, well, I don't want to. It is scary, man, but you got to perform, I mean, you got to perform. You got to put up numbers and you got to do well if you want to be on the radio or on television.
So how do
you just do?
How do you do that though? Like, I feel like you have to find that balance of, like, obviously you have execs saying, yo, DB, don't be going too wild. But then you have viewers and listeners that are like, dude, I love what fucking DB does. I love the antics that he does. Not antics, but I love who he is. You know what I mean? And so how do you kind of find that balance between satisfying, your folks and being who you are and following rules, I guess?
Well, dude, so I've worked for some really great people. My boss, Jeff McCartney at ZHT, he was a really cool guy. My boss, Stu, who's in charge of like all of iHeartMedia Salt Lake. My direct boss now, Jeff, he, I don't remember too much throughout all of my career, of a feeling of being stifled. They just, you don't want to be dirty for the sake of being dirty. You don't want to be graphic, to where you're taking an analogy or a description too far.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I try and say things that I think are funny, and it has worked out for me. So,
because I can see your dialogue with Becca, I feel like it can kind of push it to where if a feminist heard this, I'm like, damn, DB kind of crazy. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm explaining that right.
Yeah. And working in a comedy situation with ladies, like sometimes it is a balancing act to try and not cross the line. And I agree with you. I mean, there are totally things that I've said to a lot of people and women on the air that could be construed as not cool. But Becca is a good friend to me, and we're good coworkers. Like she's, we enjoy each other is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And Becca knows who she is, and Becca's playing her game too. So
yeah, definitely. How did you guys come up? How do you guys put together a show like the one that you guys have with Hooker and her?
What you mean, like placing of the people, like choosing who's on what show?
Well, like just I guess the whole creative process of saying like these are our 3 people, these are our 3 talents, this is what the show is, type of thing. Because I feel like we see all these shows and stuff like that, but I guess we don't really know the process of creating that type of show.
Well, dude, that is, those are questions that, like, I don't make decisions like that. I'm the guy that they tell me where to go, work, and that's where I go work. They usually like, so the morning shows that I've been a part of, there's a guy who's the host of the show who is kind of the director of the momentum and direction of the show, and then there's a funny guy, or maybe more of a rowdy adjutant, and that would be me. And then there's a lady, and and that's what, obviously, the role that Becca fills. So you want the dynamic of you want to have a female. Can we just say this right now? I fucking hate using the word female. I hate using it. It sounds weird to me. It sounds like you're talking about a pet or a lady. I like lady.
Yeah.
You want a lady on the show, so that there's a feminine perspective, and Hooker's really funny guy, and he's also doing that host thing, and Becca is really really hilarious. So that you just try and the main thing that you want is three people that have a fun energy together. And if you're asking my opinion, and I'm assuming that you are,
yeah, shoot for it.
The energy in the room is the energy and chemistry between the people is the most important ingredient.
Yeah.
In my humble opinion.
I would agree, because you don't want something that's not organic. If it's not organic and it's kind of force-fed, you could tell.
Yeah. Well, dude. Yeah, absolutely. The people got to enjoy each other. It's got to be a friendly atmosphere.
How is the gang doing with the quarantine? And obviously you guys are no longer in the station, right? So how's that going? We're working from home, and the radio station, by the way, Rock 106.7. But Becca's a single mom, and she's got 2 little boys most of the time. So she's kind of climbing the walls from that perspective, dude. You got little guys, right? You got little kids, don't you, Dre? Yep, I got 2. I got one that's about to turn 7, and I got one that's about to turn 2.
Yeah, dude. So you know how little kid. It's hard, especially when you're home with them all the time.
Yep.
But they're great kids, and she's a great mom. So she's doing that, and I think. Yeah, I don't know. I just want to say to everyone out there, I think she's single. So, I don't know.
I would hope so. The picture should be posted on Instagram. I'm like, she's definitely single.
She is putting out the vibe in those pics, is she not?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, nobody watch your French toast, so everybody's looking at your bikini with your inflatable hot tub. That's fucking
so
dope.
That's so funny. We're gonna start a GoFundMe page for Becca so we can get a real hot tub.
I know she got a nice backyard too.
Yeah, bro. It looks like a lovely house.
Delightful.
Hooker, my man, he lives out in Tooele County, and he plays his guitar. He works on his Jeep. He does a lot of work. Aside from the morning show in many other cities on the radio. So, he stays pretty busy doing that. But I think we're all definitely feeling the quarantine, bro, for sure.
Yeah, man. It's a weird thing, man. And I seen your post. I was gonna hit you up, but I was like, nah, fuck it. I'm gonna talk to him anyway. So you had your moment. You had your moment of, I guess, I don't want to say defeat, but it was kind of getting to you, this quarantine.
Yeah, dude. Dude, I just don't like. So, my dad was a cop, and my mom was, mostly, that matters here is like my dad was a cop. So I remember from a young age the news being on television, and it's stressing me out. And just with this kind of stuff happening in the world, that just adds another. So I stress about the same things that everybody else stresses about, staying healthy, making a living, taking care of my son, being a good husband, and and I don't know about you, dude, but I'm one of those people, like, I don't like it when the stock market falls off the edge of the table.
Yeah.
And you just watch the news and you see all these people losing their jobs and people getting sick and dying in massive numbers. And dude, so being on the radio, you got to ingest a massive amount of news every day. And, sometimes taking that all in is, it can be heavy. And then, not being able to leave your house. I assume you're talking about the video the other day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, dude, I was just like, I was having a bummer day, and dude, I tell you what, that's one of the reasons that, I'm such an advocate for exercise, and I'm such a fan of exercise, because if you want to alter your mood naturally, if you want to feel better, there is nothing better you can do than to, go lift weights or get some cardio in. And that's what I did. Actually, so I posted that video talking about being bummed out and looking at, workout tips from people. And I got some workout tips from this dude who's a pretty famous endurance racer. And yesterday I ran 10 miles in one day, and, I felt better. I just,
And you're typically not a cardio guy, right?
Dude, I everybody hates cardio, but here's the thing, dude, I technically am a fucking fat guy. So my body wants to be fat, and I love food. Anything that tastes good or feels good or anything, I want more all the time. And so I don't love cardio, but you have to do cardio.
Yeah.
If you're a bigger frame person like myself, then and you think that you're going to get in shape without doing cardio, good luck. That's just not going to happen. So, but I really do love lifting weights. But see, so here's how it works, bro. You do a bunch of cardio and you trim down and you lose weight. And then you're looking at yourself in the mirror one day and you're like, yeah, but I look small. And then you start lifting weights and eating food until you get like you maybe can put on 10 or 15 pounds or whatever. And then you're like, okay, but now I look fat. And then you start the whole thing over again. And it's that's kind of the vicious fitness cycle that I get into.
Have you always been into fitness?
No, dude. No. I didn't know anything about anything until I played, and I use the word played very loosely, very generously, played football in high school, and that was the first exposure to like lifting weights and anything that I had. And from there, and I grew to love it in that setting with those people, and it's been a part of my life ever since.
And you were a warrior?
Yep, a Taylorsville Warrior.
Terrible
Traditionally,
football team.
No, you're totally wrong. Traditionally, a 5A powerhouse here in Salt Lake County.
Baseball.
Baseball, yeah. Well, dude, here's all you need to know about Taylorsville football. I was on the team.
You made it.
Yeah, I got a jacket in the other room. So if they'll take me, they'll take anybody.
Have you taken any jiu-jitsu classes with Connor or what?
No, dude, and I want to so bad. I really, really do. But
didn't Berkeley give you a pass? Didn't he say come to my gym?
Well, dude, I went to his gym, but the thing I went to his gym was more of like an MMA, just like an overall MMA kind of thing. And so my son goes to a jiu-jitsu gym, and that's all they do is jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And I would love to do that. But so I've had 2 rotator cuff surgeries on my left arm, and my right shoulder has a level 3 separation. Shit. And dude, I know that. So again, I'm a person of excess. And so I know there's no way that I could go take a jiu-jitsu class and be like half speed. And these guys, if you've ever been into a jiu-jitsu gym, the dudes that go there all the time, they are fucking hard asses. And this is what they'll hit you with, Dre. They'll say this all the time. They're like, oh, nobody gets hurt. You can tap out whenever you want. And then like one of the guys that was my son's coach, he works at like an office, like with a tie at an office. And this guy had a black eye that would make you think he got hit by a car for weeks at a time. So I would love to do it, but those guys would pull me apart like warm bread. I'm just and I'm down to my last good set of arms. So no.
How's he liking it though?
Dude, he likes it. They've been on hiatus for a while, obviously, because of the corona. Yeah. But he likes it, man. I want my son to learn that shit because I want him to always be able to say no in any situation. And it's more about building his self-confidence than it is about fighting. But I'm no fighter by any means, but everything I do know about fighting or what I hear is that when the shit goes down, people that have been practicing usually come out on top. So
yep.
I just try and arm my son with that kind of action. But dude, yeah, but I would love to. I would, you know what? But I'm sure I'd be a fucking douchebag about it because I'd probably go to the gym and then like about 6 months in, I'd start wearing t-shirts and sweatpants. And I'd probably be one of those guys that like shaves my head like all the time and obviously does it at home by myself because, it's just, it's easier in the gym, bro, with my hair like this. I guarantee I'd be douchey, over the top jiu-jitsu guy. I guarantee it.
Did you ever wear Affliction?
I had. Okay, so hold on. So I had one Affliction T-shirt, and I'll tell you why.
How many
because
times?
they
How
were
many
like,
bedazzles were on it? How many jewels did you have on it?
No, I'd never had anything bedazzled, but it was because that shit was like $70 a shirt, bro.
God damn.
$70. So I just had one that had like a skull Grim Reaper guy hanging on to a chain link fence.
What the fuck?
And he was like staring at you through a chain link fence. Hey, bro, fashion's a motherfucker, all right? What about these guys? Have you seen these cats in the NBA right now that are what's up with the like waist high bell bottoms that are popping right now?
Man, I have no idea. Once I seen Westbrook showing his navel, I was like, this ain't for me.
Dude, do you know what I'm talking about? The like LeBron pants and they're like, it's almost like a denim skirt.
It's accurate.
Dude, yeah, hey, don't judge Jeff Lowe too harshly. Back in the day, there was a lot of people wearing Affliction shit. And you know what? They were cool.
They were all douchebags.
No, but dude, no, they weren't. There was a time when no, they were cool. What are you? How old are you?
They were top heavy.
How old are you?
I'm 30.
You're okay. So I got STDs older than you. No, you don't remember, bro. You don't remember what it was like back in the day at Portugal downtown with your Affliction shit on. Maybe you're gonna wear Affliction and True Religion jeans. Ooh.
And then you have the Ed Hardy hat.
No, Von Dutch.
Ooh. And you smell like the Von Dutch cologne? Too much of it?
Oh, man. Dude, if you're going to wear cologne, go big. Go big.
Not too heavy, though. Damn, Protocol, though, man. Protocol was...
Yeah.
So I didn't get to experience Protocol because I moved... When I got back to Utah in 2005, I was like 16, I think. 16 or something like that. And at the time, I was doing flyering and stuff for Adam and Pierre, and that was like the place to be was Protocol. And I remember seeing it on the corner because it was right kitty corner to the Bay in the venue.
Oh, yeah, I love the Bay. Love the Bay. I've been going to the Bay for 25 years.
Have you ever been shot at the Bay, though?
No. Why would that happen?
That definitely happened to me.
What? Well, you're a fucking G. What were you? Were you getting out of a car with Tupac? What?
I was hosting. I was hosting a gig for Yuck Mouth out of the Bay Area. He was a Bay Area legend.
Okay.
You know, I got 5 on it. And yeah, they were shooting up in the air. It was kind of
Really?
Yeah.
I'm shocked because everything I've heard about Yuck Mouth, mellow crowd. Yeah. Mellow. Super mellow.
Oh shit.
Doesn't he host a soup kitchen every Sunday? I mean, this is shocking to me.
It's a great human being.
I'm sure he is. Sure he is.
I do want to say though, you should stop picking on your wife.
Oh gosh, man, you're making me sound like a pig. Like every woman in my life is getting it. Okay, give me an example of picking on my wife. Man, tell me what you're talking about.
She is enjoying a nice day. Obviously, it's early in the morning. She's into her yoga. I'm assuming Pilates.
Oh, you mean that Facebook Live video?
And she's chilling. She's good. The dog's in there. She's doing her dog yoga. Everybody's happy. In the words of Buddha, it's a delightful day.
It is delightful.
And this asshole.
Hey, so just to be clear for everyone, I don't have a problem with women. But so let me ask you a question, buddy.
Yeah.
Do you have a wife or a girlfriend that you live with?
Yeah, pretty much my wife.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Okay.
7 years.
Well, bro, ladies love that. You got to tease them every now and then. You got to show these ladies who's in charge, buddy. They like it.
Yeah, I'm definitely not doing that to my girl.
Dude, so do you not tickle your girl? Do you not have tickle fights? Do you tickle your kids? Like,
oh yeah.
What about your wife?
I try to make her pee. I try to.
So that's all I was doing. That's all I was doing was giving her a little bit of that. No, dude, dude, with my wife, with my son, with the people that I work with, dude, I'm a guy that runs hot, and if the people that are around me are the people that get it.
Yeah.
But dude, if I didn't like you, I wouldn't tease you.
Yeah,
So,
no doubt. You guys have a beautiful relationship, man. I see, you really started the podcast off talking about her boobs, and that kind of threw me for a loop. I was like, whoa. But you get the dynamic. You get the dynamic between you and your wife, and I think that I think that is beautiful. I think that you are an example husband and an example father, kind of like you said. Like, I try to be the best that I can be, and I appreciate that. I really didn't appreciate husbands and wives until I got my family.
Dude, it is the absolute greatest blessing I think that someone can have. And I love my wife so deeply. And the night I met my wife was one of it was probably the funnest night I ever had out partying. And she quickly became my best friend, and we rapidly fell in love. And my greatest wish for my son is that he meets someone and has a relationship close to what I have with his mother. And I'll tell you what, I don't talk about him a lot, but I've got a brother who is passed away. And my biggest regret for my brother is that he never found love like what I have with my wife. And and I'm very, very fortunate. I'm very fortunate because I am not an easy person to be around all the time. And sometimes I'm just full on unpleasant. Mm-hmm. And she's a great lady. And, I just, dude, I just celebrated 4 years without having a drink, and that would not have been possible without my wife.
A lot of support. How did you guys meet?
Amazing, bro. Amazing support. Unreal.
That's
I'm sorry,
awesome.
dude, What'd you say, buddy?
No, I was just saying, how did you guys meet? I know you said that a party, but was it like a party, bar or something?
No. So during the Urban Meyer years at the University of Utah, the radio station, we would be down in the tailgate lot for every home game, and I would go up and I would have tickets to the game, and we would, party and have a great time and, just tailgate. And I was up there. So actually the day that I met her, my brother and I had been chilling at my house, killing beers all day, just watching college football. And my buddies rolled by my house and they were like, hey man, we're going up to the U game. We're going to go tailgate. Why don't you come with us? And I almost didn't go. I was just going to stay there on the couch and, hang out with my brother the rest of the evening. And my brother, Philip, was like, nah, man, you should go. You should go. Go ahead. I'm just going to hit Beddoes and probably pass out. And so I went up partying, having a great time. And, like my tight circle of friends were with me. And I was backing up. I was having a conversation, probably smoking a cigarette, and I was backing up, and I bumped into someone, and I turned around, and it was Nicole, who that night we continued to party and stay together, and we just bumped into each other up at the U, turned around, we started talking, and basically we've been together ever since.
Damn. How many years have you guys been together and been married?
16 years on June 28th. And we lived so we met 3 months later, we moved in together. 3 months after that, we were married.
Wow. And then what, 4 years later, Connor came?
Yeah. Because I was getting worried that she was going to leave. So I figured, okay, let's get her pregnant.
Club up. Yeah.
yeah. I got to shoot the club up. We got to set it off. Yeah. So that's what you got to do. Like if you're feeling worried that your girl's going to leave, tell her you want to have a baby. That's what I did.
Let's have a baby. Yeah.
God, I love you. You know what? I love you so much.
Damn. That's like a fairy tale type of, I bumped into her. We were friends.
Yeah. Well, it sounds good, but we've had our ups and downs, and the majority of the downs, all of the downs really were, my bad. But dude, we're good. We're good. Dude, seriously, and I don't want to be corny, but that's my greatest wish. Not only for my son, but for everyone. I hope everyone finds what the love that I have with Nicole. I'm a very lucky man. I don't want to go on and sound like a cheese dick, but I'm a very very lucky man, and I absolutely acknowledge it.
How's the home life with quarantine? Are you guys getting on each other's nerves yet? You guys doing things that you guys haven't done?
No, dude. So I yelled at my son the other day or whatever. So
what could he have done to make you mad or
not
yell?
Not yell at him. But okay, so you got little ones,
yep.
And my son's 11 and your guy's like 7. So maybe not quite the same thing yet. But you know that kids will be like, they give you every detail about every thought they're having.
Yep.
And so my son sometimes will be telling me something and I'll be like, I don't need to know all this. Just tell me what the point is.
Yeah, get to it.
I'm like, yeah, I don't need to know how you earn the money for the Diamond Casino heist. Just tell me about the Diamond Casino heist.
Yeah.
So,
and then Dad, and then I, and then.
Uh-huh. Well, dude, I'll tell you what, and that's not, talking about people in radio and in media, that, when you talk for a living, that's something that is very irritating when you're talking with people, well, let's call them just civilians, that people are like, that their story doesn't move along quickly, or you feel like, oh my gosh, come on, wrap it up, get to the punchline. I don't care. We got to check traffic and get out of here. Yeah, that's a real thing. So I don't yell at myself. Well, yelling is a bad way to say it, but sometimes I'm like, get to the point, buddy. Get to the point.
So a little bit of that going on.
Dude, it's just, we're three people that are locked in a house together. So it's, it's a little bit on each other's nerves, but for the most part, no. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, did he feel the earthquake?
No, he didn't. He slept through the whole thing.
What about you?
I was in the studio at Rock 106.7 and, yeah, dude, the whole thing started shaking. Like that was crazy. I've never experienced anything like that.
So you're live. Were you live on? Like, were you guys recording and everything at that time?
No, we had just gotten out of a break and we were like in a song or a commercial, and the room just started moving, and dude, we were all pretty scared. We were all pretty scared. Becca had a breakdown. She was very scared.
Damn. Well, she
like
was
the
away from
guy
her kids and
holding,
everything.
like the guy holding the bullets in Saving Private Ryan, kind of a breakdown.
Oh shit. Oh man.
Yeah, bro. It was scary, and rightfully so. That's a very terrifying thing.
Yeah.
I'm not making fun of her. I thought it was funny because I've never. I mean, have you ever really seen someone like really lose it? It was a trip. It's dude. Earthquakes are scary. It's scary.
The planet. Here's the thing, man. The planet is fucking moving, and we go about our day like this shit's normal. I mean, and it is, but the Earth just shook. I feel like we should chill for a minute. Let's take this in.
Well, I watched a documentary recently called Death Valley Aliens, and apparently the earthquakes that are being experienced all over the world are from the underground battle between the aliens that live underground and the human forces that are fighting them.
That would be some shit.
Yeah. So, and I don't know what's after that because I fell asleep, but yeah, you go ahead and Google that. You'll be able to figure it out yourself. Death Valley Aliens. Yeah, dude. Earthquakes. Scary. Scary.
Do you believe in aliens?
Totally. 100%.
Why? What makes you believe in extraterrestrials?
Because
we don't have, I mean, there's no evidence, right? There's
no evidence that they're letting us see, man.
Were you one of the ones that was trying to rush Area 51?
No, and no, but I did like seeing that happen. Dude, I don't know, the conspiracy, yes, I believe in aliens, and I believe, I mean, when you look at all the planets and all the stars and the ever-expanding massiveness of, like, that's not even a word that is close to the universe is so big. I think it's been said that it's a mathematical certainty that there's alien life. And I read a story just last week, if I'm not mistaken, that they just found another planet. I don't know how many light years away it was, but they just found some other kind of Earth type planet with water and plants, and I believe they said plants, and I mean, think about that, bro. That right there. If there's even a plant on another planet, that in and of itself is life.
Yeah. Have you heard the theory of aliens being us, just light years ahead?
Oh, totally. Like a Prometheus kind of thing?
Yeah.
Like we're the genetic engineer guinea pig pets of the aliens?
Yep. I could see some shit like that, like the Truman Show type shit.
Oh, where they're watching us?
Yeah, definitely.
Bro, I don't know, like, I don't have a personal theory about, like, what I think really is the, like, situation, but I definitely, you can quote me on this, I definitely believe that there are aliens, and I definitely believe that governments of the world have had contact with them and are possibly working with them. I approve this message. Yeah, that's where I'm at with that.
What if some of our leaders in government were aliens?
Dude, people said that about Barack Obama. People
said
said
he was the Antichrist.
Yeah, well, those people, the ones who called him the Antichrist, they were racist. The ones that called him an alien, they were paranoid. Yeah, I heard somebody, I was at like a backyard party just drinking beer one night, and I heard some guy going off. Just going, because I used to have this group of friends that had the most like out there theories, like just to sit and party with these people. It was so like Tarantino down the rabbit hole of conversational conspiracy, just blah, blah, blah. And this guy one time went off. He's like, yeah, he's a lizard. He's one of the lizard people. And like, even like pulling up his phone and like, look, he's got 4 eyelids or some shit.
That's weird as fuck.
Yeah, but then I also heard a podcast with like this Navy SEAL cat, or you hear about people that meet Barack, and he's like the coolest person ever. So I don't know how you could be a reptile alien and be perceived by most people as the coolest person they've ever met.
Have you ever seen Barack not cool? Like, Barack has always been cool. You never seen him lose his cool in media or anything like that. Ever. No, dude, because he's educated and he's an adult and he's, yeah. Dude, no. Dude, so I listened to this podcast where they were interviewing the Navy SEAL who shot and killed Osama bin Laden. And this guy was talking about Barack, President Obama, coming into the room, and this guy just breaking it down how, this is a room full of Navy SEALs, high-ranking government officials, generals, and the guy's name's Robert O'Neill. I'm sure you can Google it. You don't need me to tell you. But just talks about President Obama coming into the room and just owning that shit. And not like in an alpha male way, but in the way when someone comes into a room and everyone is like, I want that person to like me, or I want their approval. You could just feel that coolness coming off them. Why didn't you ever get into the military or law enforcement with your father and your grandfather being in both?
Dude, my dad so I went down to a Marine recruiting office one time, and dude, I just knew right away that wasn't for me. That's just that wasn't my life. I have so much respect for the military. So my grandfather, my father's father was in the Navy during World War II. My father did 2 tours of duty in Vietnam. My mom's father was in the Air Force in World War II, like flying bombing missions over Europe. My brother was in the Navy. My sister was in the Army. My uncle was in the Coast Guard. I have so much admiration for the military, but it just wasn't for me, man. I almost, and you know what? And you could tell, I'm sure, by my tone and delivery that, there's a little bit of shame, I think, that I carry, that I didn't join the military.
And I was going to ask you that, if you feel like you were supposed to, like, you feel like you let anybody down for not going that path?
I don't know if I'd use the word let down, but I'll tell you this. I bet, gosh, I don't know, man. I bet my dad would have liked that. My family's got a pretty long military tradition, and I'm sure my dad would have liked for me to join the Marine. I mean, he took me down there. He was in the Army, so he probably wanted me to be in the Army. But, at that point in my life, man, it wasn't for me. I'm sure it would have made my dad happy. But, yeah, I couldn't do it. And maybe I just feel a little guilty because I feel like maybe everyone should do something. But yeah, I didn't. And, yeah, I guess I do feel a little guilty about not serving at all in the military. But bro, dude, these Marine Corps guys, they were so hardcore. I went into this recruiting office, and I don't want to I don't want to badmouth anyone, so I won't go into the story, but I spent 20 minutes in this recruiting office, and I was like, I do not want to be alone with these guys. I don't want to have to shower with these guys. I don't want to have to use a bathroom with these guys. Like, dude, from being a tough guy male, I felt like I wouldn't be able to hang with them. And so, yeah.
What was this? Was this still late 90s, or are we in the 2000s at this point?
Oh, no. It was late 90s. No, still, that was during my senior year. So, man, I got into radio in 96, 97, and I have never looked back. Never looked back. I don't have another plan. I've never gone to school or received any kind of training for anything other than radio.
So who put the
radio
bug in
is
your
what
ear?
I do.
Who put
Pardon?
the bug in your ear for radio? Like, who inspired you to get into radio?
I listened to a radio station that was around here in Utah in the 90s called Q99. And man, my parents always listened to music, so the radio was on. And as you get older and you're a teenager and, you start finding your own music and your own vibe and radio stations that, I found music, and then I found DJs, and then I found morning shows that were funny and clever. And I remember sitting in my car. So way back in the day here in Utah, there was a morning show called Cano and McCormick, or Cano and Simmons. And Simmons was the guy who got caught on videotape doing something not cool at the mall. But Cano and Simmons, they were these two guys. They did a morning show. And I remember one morning riding to work with my mom, and this woman had called into the radio station, and she was bitching at him. She's like, "You guys are dirty, and you're terrible, and you say horrible things on the and this woman just goes on and on and on and on, and these guys on the air are like, they're just like, "You're right, we're sorry," and they're just agreeing with her, and they're just going along. Because I still remember this phone call vividly, and we were in my mom's van. And the guys are just like, "Yeah, you're right. We'll do better. We'll try harder." And by the end of the phone call, the woman's like, well, okay. You guys have a nice day." And then they let the woman go. And as soon as they hung up the phone, both guys were like, "Bitch." And dude, and then there's a couple guys on the radio in this town still that were dudes that I listened to on the radio when I was younger. And, I like getting back to the part of our conversation, I've never been a cool person, particularly cool. And I'm sure I have a lot of insecurities, and, I want people to like me, and I think I'm funny. And so I listened to these people on the radio, and I was like, this is fucking awesome. I want to be on the radio. And that's just how it goes, bro. I remember very clearly, just like, I love this. These guys are funny. That's what I want to do.
So once you got onto the radio, what was like? How did you keep, I guess, having new goals for yourself? Like, were you just like, I just want to be on air talent? I don't like what goals did you have to in the radio business? I guess starting out.
Well, dude, I think, one of the flaws I've had in my life is a good portion of time where I didn't have other goals. There was a good more than 10 years where I was really comfortable and not pushing myself. And, there were times where I just got stagnant, and, there was a long time I didn't have any goals. My goal was not getting fired, or my goal was, just, making it day to day. And, only just the past, like maybe 5-ish years, like the show. So the show that Hooker and Becca and myself, we have the privilege of doing, we're on in a few other cities around the country. Yeah, well, that's not syndicated because I don't want to sound like I'm trying to sound big time because it's not syndicated. But we're on in a few other cities around the country, and I want, now I have the goal of I want to add more cities, and there's, I want to, dude, I'm not. It's kind of a weird thing because I don't. It's not like I want to be a rich and famous celebrity, because I don't. But I just want to do well, and I want to accomplish more stuff, and I think, I'm a big fan of Russell Wilson, and the why not me, his whole that thing, because I think that's something a lot of people could, there are people that are less smart and less driven out there in the world doing what you want to do, and the only difference between you and them is they had the courage to maybe even be a dick and just go get what they wanted. And so, I want to do as much as I can, man. Sure. I want to be on the radio all over the country if I could.
I think that's a great goal. I think it's doable too.
And I want to keep the podcast with Buddha going, and I want, and I don't know how people make money with podcasts, but and maybe we never will make any money with that, but I'm okay with that because I just like doing it just to do it because Buddha is my homie, and we have a good time doing it, and some people seem to enjoy it. So, I love doing that too, and I put a lot of effort. We put a lot of effort into that as well.
Yeah, I think that you guys, the biggest thing with you guys is that you guys are consistent. You guys have been consistent over 100 episodes, over a year doing it. I'm really proud of you guys. And I say that as a homie, and I say that as a consumer too. Like, to see you guys, where you guys started and where you guys are now, it's awesome. It's really dope. Oh,
dude, thank you very much. And I try really hard. I want to, we work really hard. And I'll tell you what, there are weekends where it's not easy. Sometimes I don't know how much editing you do to the stuff that you put out, but there are sometimes I listen to the whole thing all the way through twice-ish, going through, just listening to it and making sure that I like the way it's moving. If there's a comment or a conversation that I think is a little too far, maybe move that out or massage it or whatever. But, we put a lot of effort into it. So it's, if we want to do a good job, we want it to be entertaining. It's absolutely not just us opening the mics and saying whatever comes to our mind. We try, and thank you for saying that.
Yeah. Keep it coming. I really appreciate you taking the time to podcast with me today. Hopefully we can do it more. Sure. Thank you for helping me with this technology too. We at the very beginning we were like, oh, what's going on? There was some feedback and stuff, but DB made it happen.
Dude, let me ask you a question. What is your day job? So I know that I see you all over social media, and you've got a few podcast projects that you work on. You seem to always be in the mix. What do you do? What pays Dre's mortgage?
I actually work for a healthcare company. That's my 9 to 5. Yeah, I'm not gonna say the name just in case. But
yeah, don't.
But yeah, I work for a healthcare company out of California. I do scheduling and registration.
You're a doctor.
No. You have to call me Dr. Dre.
That's trademark. Don't do that.
That would be cool though. But no, yeah, I do billing, scheduling and registration for a healthcare company. And yeah, I DJ. That helps pay the bills. Obviously, it's not paying the bills right now because everything's closed. But yeah, that's really how I pay my bills. And then obviously the helping out with podcasts.
Well, that's cool. That's cool that you have something that you have to do, and then you have a passion that you choose to do. So, that's awesome. Hey, I apologize if I rambled on and took too much of your time. I appreciate you speaking with me, and I know Buddha feels the same way. We love all the content you're putting out. So you flatter us with any attention at all.
I appreciate it, my brother. Let's get on the podcast again, and we can chop it up about some other stuff too. I wanted the people to get to know you, and for me to get to know DB a little bit more too. The father, the husband, the colleague,
the male chauvinist pig. Hey,
say female for me one time. No,
I won't. I hate that word. Would I hear people say the word female? I'm like, well, are you gonna roll her over and check? What the fuck? That's such
How do you
disgusting word. Yeah. No, that's it. No. Hey, thank you, Dre. I just want to say really quick. Please listen every morning here in Salt Lake to Rock 106.7, and thank you very much, man. You take it easy.
All right, talk to you later.